Hello, third grade, and welcome to Lesson 4 of Social Studies. This lesson is titled, What Makes a Community's Economy Change? In this lesson, you're going to use your investigative skills to explore how buying and selling goods and services have changed over time. This will help you understand how sales and shopping work in the communities today. So let's go ahead and read the information in our blue bars. It says, read the title and look at the photos. What do you think we will learn? Circle the words you don't know. Underline words or phrases that tell you what shopping was like long ago and what shopping is like today. Summarize how shopping has changed over time. So to write down that answer, you can write it down in the area titled My Notes. On the right side, it says for number 2, find evidence, reread the text. How do changes in how people shop affect the local economy? Draw a box around clues that support what you think. Now let's go ahead and start reading. Shopping long ago and today. Long ago, most towns only had a few small stores. Each store carried only a few different items. Most of the items were made nearby. Items that came from far away were expensive and not easy to get. Customers who walked to a store could buy only a few items at a time. Customers are people who buy goods and services. Customers who rode in wagons could bring home more food, clothing, tools, and other items. Most people paid for goods in cash. Some traded their own goods for others. So let's take a look at the photo that we have down here. The caption says, in the past, most people shopped in small stores in their communities. They might buy food at one store, tools at another, and clothing at another. Today, customers have more choices among goods. The same items are available all year. Many customers drive to the store. This makes it easier to reach stores farther away. People can also bring many things home at one time. Customers use the internet to buy goods from stores that have websites. Online shopping allows people to buy goods from stores in other states and countries. Goods ordered online are shipped to people's homes and businesses. People have many ways to pay for goods and services. They can use cash, checks, and credit cards. Credit cards let customers charge goods that they must pay for later. All right, let's go ahead and look at our graphic organizer here. Now, in our graphic organizer, we're going to focus on comparing and contrasting. Now, what does that mean? When we're comparing, we're looking at how things are the same. And when we're contrasting, we're looking at how things are different. So for this particular section, we're going to look at what shopping was like long ago and how it was like today, and what's the same and what's different. So we know a long time ago, there was no internet or online shopping, so we can list that here. We read that people rode in horses or they walked, or people rode in horses and carriages or wagons to reach their stores. Now let's look at the today section. Let's do how they're different first, and then we're going to go in and do what's the same. Today, buyers can use credit cards to shop, and people can shop online, and people will drive cars to go to the different stores. Now, what's the same about them? We know that buyers used cash long ago, and they can still use cash today to pay for their goods and services. People still shop in different small stores, and people are still able to walk to stores to get there. So here we were able to look at how shopping was different long ago and today, and what's still the same about both. Now for the next page, we're going to read pages 288 to 293 in our research companion, and we're going to use our skills to look for text evidence that tells how goods and services have changed over time. We're going to use this same chart called the Venn diagram to help us sort out our information. All right, let's switch over to our textbook. Goods and services change over time. The economy of the United States has changed greatly over time. When the United States became a nation in 1776, most Americans farmed and worked in small businesses. Many raised food crops. Others cut down trees for lumber. Still others mined coal. Later, some Americans drilled for oil and natural gas. People sold these resources to provide natural resources to provide energy and to make other goods. Shopkeepers and merchants ran businesses to sell these goods. Community members like doctors, teachers, bankers, and lawyers provided other important services. Modern Americans still work in farming, mining, and drilling. The American oil industry first developed in Pennsylvania and California. Later, petroleum or oil was discovered in other states. Texas and Alaska became large oil producers. Today, drilling takes place at sea as well as on land. People and businesses rely on oil for fuel as well as for plastics and other goods. So here we're getting a lot of information about not only what it was like long ago, but what it's like today. So we read about how farming was a very important part of the industry a long time ago. But we also talk about how it's important today. We talked about how oil drilling developed and what states it's currently still being mined in or dug for. Over here, they listed Alaska and let's see, Texas. So we can go ahead and start filling in our graphic organizer with some of the information that we just read right now. So we know long ago, most Americans farmed and worked in small businesses. That's going to go in our long ago section. And we know that farming is still important today. That can go into the both section. Let's go ahead and keep reading. Now, another thing we can add in the today section is that the oil industry developed in Pennsylvania and is still being, Texas and Alaska became large oil producers. We can also put that drilling for oil takes place at sea and on land. Differences in natural resources and climate led regions to specialize or focus on different activities. New Englanders on natural harbors built ships and fished. In the South, rich soil and warm weather led people to raise cotton, rice, and sugar. On the Great Plains, farmers raised grains like wheat and corn. Ranchers herded cattle for meat. Farms now cover most of what was once open prairie in the Midwest. Most farms used to be small family businesses. Today, big businesses run much larger farms. They provide food for stores, restaurants, and homes. Small farms still raise their own food and sell goods in their communities. Manufacturing, or the making of goods, grew. Machines enabled people to make goods faster and cheaper. Now, many people work in retail or business to sell these goods. People have many choices of goods and places to shop. So here, another thing we can put in into our graphic organizer is that farming provides food. So right here in the both section, because it's still important, farming provides food for people and for businesses. We can talk about how on the today's section, now machines make goods a lot faster and manufacturing is growing. And we can put on the long ago side that cotton, sugar, rice, and other farming developed in the southern states and the Great Plains brought farmers and ranchers in because they had a lot of good soil. And that most farming was done by small family groups or small family businesses. So that's going to be our long ago section. Technology has also led to new economic activities. Travel, especially on airplanes, is a big business today. Technology also impacted entertainment. Television became a part of many homes in the mid-1900s. Today, people view television shows from many providers. Computers and other electronics are major industries that did not exist in the past. So this can go in your today section. Many people and companies design computers and computer programs. Tech support people help customers figure out problems with their computers and other electronics. They provide a service. Many people work in other service industries fixing the goods that people buy. As more people started saving money and taking out loans, banking spread. Today, many banks exist that offer their services to everyone. Advertising, which draws attention to goods and services, developed as companies wanted to reach more customers. Newspapers and magazines provide the printed material, and a service, which is the information. Today, many publications no longer rely on printing. They have websites. So this is also something that's going to go into our graphic organizer on the today side. People have a lot of choices in the goods and services they can get to. And banking and advertising became very important as companies wanted to reach more customers. Now, in the both section, something we read about, oil drilling is still taking place at sea and on land, and different regions are still specializing based on the natural resources they have available. So we talked about places in the Midwest on that prairie land, using it for farming because they had good soil and good weather. So they were able to specialize in farming. People that were off by the harbors and by the water specialized in fishing. People that were near areas where they were able to mine for oil became specialized in oil drilling. All right, let's go ahead and move on. Okay, so this is the end of our reading, and this is not necessarily related to our graphic organizer, so you are able to skip those 2 pages. Next, I want you to go into your write about it sections. The first one says, think about it, examine. Based on your research, what goods and services have businesses in the United States provided? So write down, using complete sentences, some of the goods and services that you guys have here in the United States. Under where it says imagine, what if you lived 100 years ago? Write a journal entry describing the goods and services you would have used in your community at that time. And then connect to the essential question, evaluate what are the benefits and drawbacks to the way people make, sell, and buy goods and services in your community today. So the benefits are what are the good things about it, and the drawbacks are what are the bad things about it. Please make sure in all of these sections that you're using complete sentences, your best handwriting, you're checking your spelling and grammar before you turn anything in. That takes us to the end of this lesson. If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, have an amazing day. Take care. Bye-bye.